Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And mostly, I read from these meditation books. So let's get right into this today. I'm going to start with the Linda Picone. God, it feels so weird to be back in this chair reading meditations. It's been almost a week. I think it has been a week, so it feels so weird, and I missed you guys, and I missed reading from the meditation books every day, so let's get right into it. I'm going to read first from the Daily Book of Positive Quotations by Linda Picone. Where are my, I left my reading glasses over there. Did I? I thought I brought them with me. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll do our best. And that's all that anybody can ask of us, right? September 22nd. Ooh, nice little picture of trees. Did I say November 22nd? September. Let's not rush it if I said that. September 22nd, middle of the road. We know what happens to people who stay in the middle of the road. They get run over. Ambrose Bierce. If one person we care about believes passionately in one side of an issue, and another believes passionately on the other side, is it our role to be somewhere in the middle? Somewhere we think we won't upset anyone? There are times when the middle of the road looks so good, or looks as good as any place else to stand. But often we have strong feelings too. It's okay to express our beliefs, even if this might upset someone we care about. If we don't take a stand, we risk upsetting everyone. I don't want to play it safe all the time. Playing it safe can be riskier than following my feelings. Interesting meditation. You know, I have to say that much of my life, because I'm so passionate about so many things, that I always have an opinion. I think probably people know that by now, right? And one of the things that I have really learned in this world is that I don't always have to express my opinion. I just don't. And I'm gonna talk about what this book is talking about in a second. But just for me, if you are somebody that is always expressing your opinion to the point where your opinion is kind of muted because you like have an opinion about everything and you're very passionate about it and you love just to have deep conversations, deep intellectual conversations, you know. And I do. I'm somebody that loves all of that, right? I know that other people aren't the same way. And I come across as very direct with my opinions. It's something that I've really worked on, you know, in the last couple years, that I can share my opinion without being offensive to other people, you know. But I've also learned that I don't always have to share my opinion, you know, especially if I you know, see it through, like we were just talking about the other day and before I went on vacation. You know, if I run the tape through and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to conversation between friends of mine, you know, I don't have to have some really passionate opinion about it, especially if it's going to ignite a flame of an argument or make an argument, you know, more, something like that. Sometimes it's better if I just stay out of it, you know, and don't gas up the argument, so to speak. That being said, I am also a believer that in life we shy away from really sharing our opinions about things because we, you know, are afraid of upsetting people. We're afraid that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings, a friend of ours, you know. And that I have learned in life is it's important to stand by our principles and by those things that we believe in. I love the movie The Contender. I've quoted it a lot on my drama channel. Not so much over here, but I love the movie The Contender. If you've never seen it, you should check it out. And it's about this woman, and she has been, what do you call it, not nominated, but picked for Supreme Court Justice. And she used to go through this whole thing. And during it, these pictures come out from college of her where she was like naked at this party. And she will not address it. Like, she refuses to address it. And at the end of the movie, they find out that the pictures were fake, that there was no truth to the pictures whatsoever. And I can't remember what his name is. I love him as an actor. The guy that, but anyway, he plays the president. And he said, "You knew all along that they were fake." And she was like, "Yeah." And he said, "Why didn't you say anything about it?" And she said, "Because first of all, it was never theirs to ask in the first place, you know. It was too personal of a question for them to even ask." And then she says, you know, principles, I love this quote. This is one of my favorite quotes of life. "Principles only mean something if we stick to them when they're inconvenient." And, you know, in the last couple of years, I've lost some friendships, I've lost some relationships in my life because I've had to stand by my principles of what I really truly believe in my heart and soul, and what I was taught by my mother and my father, and what I've really realized were, and I'm not saying that I'm just quick to let friendships go, but if people aren't even open to the conversation, or open to another side, or open to see something else, are those really people that I want in my life? Are they representative of what I believe in? Are they where I want to be spending my time? It's something that it's a difficult question. It's probably one of the most difficult questions that we have to ask, I have so many friends of mine that will say, well, I have to go to this, what do you call it? Family thing tonight, and everybody is, oppositional to what I believe in. And I don't know how I would do that. I'm thankful that I don't have to do that, but I don't know how I would do that. I don't know how I would be surrounded by people that so philosophically believed differently than I did, and I think that it's something important, to remember that your principles only mean something if you stick to them when they're inconvenient, when they're not popular. When to share your principles, when to stick by your principles mean that maybe people that are very close to you will look at you differently and won't like you. Well, that's hard to do. But if they're your principles and you believe in them, that's the true test right there, So I think it's a great meditation. All right, let's read one more. I'm going to read from the Melody Beatty, Journey to the Heart, September 22nd. Not November. Not November. Okay. All right, September 22nd, embrace change. You don't have to fear change. What you need to fear, a friend once told me, is things remaining the same. So true. When that happens, life has stopped. Life is an evolution. Your life is constantly, quietly evolving each moment into something new, something different, something that adds gracefully, beautifully, and perfectly to what was. You can trust that process with all its insights, clarity, confusion, and emotions. You can trust that process with its peace, joy, laughter, and its side trips. Learn to honor and love the process of continual evolution and transformation. It's how things grow. It's how you grow. It's how life is. Learn to embrace change. And that's the end of it. I wasn't somebody that loved change for a long time. In fact, I would say to people all the time, I still feel this way deep inside. I think, but there's part of me that kind of enjoys change today, because I've really had to learn. I've had to teach myself to enjoy change. But deep inside, I am really a creature of comfort. I like the same thing every day. I like to go to the same place and get my coffee. I like to, all of that. It's just, I'm not a person that loves change. And I think, I've had to really challenge that in my life through the years, and realized that if things don't change, then I don't grow as a human being. I don't, it's like several years ago, my sponsor suggested to me that I start going to all new meetings where I didn't know people. And he said, and you need to sit in the meeting and act like a newcomer. You can't share in your shares, well, I have so many years sober, 20 years sober, or whatever it was at the time. It was probably 5 or 6 years ago now. Maybe longer than that, 6, 7, 8 years ago. But he was like, you can't share in your share, how many years you've been there. Unless somebody asks you specifically after the meeting, you can't say. You guys have to act like a newcomer in the meeting. And it was super humbling for me, It was very, very humbling, and for me not to know anybody and walk into rooms. I still to this day, I don't like to go to meetings where I don't know anybody. It's very uncomfortable for me. I have horrific social anxiety. And it really taught me a lesson. And interestingly enough, I ended up getting a new sponsor through that. I met somebody else, and I met this man that I felt that he could carry me to the next part of my journey. And I talked to my old sponsor, and, and I moved on to somebody else. And since then, and at that meeting, listening to my sponsor today, she shared her lead, and I just sat there in awe the entire time that she shared. And I was like, I want this woman in my life, I have to have her in my life. And she has saved my life on such a deep level. And by really challenging change, I can remember sitting down the first night that I met with her. And I had known her for a while before that. I don't know what got me really emotional about that, but we sat down and at dinner at Charleston's restaurant, And she had a salad, and I don't remember what I had. She had grilled cheese, I think, probably, and fries. And we were talking about something, and she's rifling through her purse, and she whips out this pen, or these papers and this pen, and she's like, let's inventory it. And I go, right now? And she goes, yeah. And I go, oh, I'm not really in the mood to do any inventory right now. And she looked at me across the table and she said, are you telling me no? And I was like, she goes, because this isn't going to work if I suggest something and you tell me no. And I was like, oh God, like, I got to get comfortable with this. She suggests I inventory things on a regular basis today, and that's just the language that she uses. And I had to change to get used to that. And I've had to change a lot in my life in the last couple years. And I've had to let go of a lot of things that were important to me, or seemingly important to me at that point, and I had to really focus on where the real importance of gratitude lay in my life, and the things that were really important to me and the things that weren't. And I had to realign my life and look at, I don't know, like I was saying previously, that maybe some people don't represent my life in the way that I thought they did. Maybe some people, I don't know, I'm giving too many people too much of my time, where I should be giving other people more of my time that I love dearly, and it was just, in many different ways I looked at my life, and I looked at changes that I need to make in my life, and I needed to take a look at how I spoke to people. That was a huge one for me, and it wasn't okay for me just to say, well, I don't know why I spoke that way. It was important for me to take a look at why I spoke that way and to change that. Because if you really don't want to be that person, then you change and you do the work, and that was something that I wanted. And so it's like, I've got to do the work. I've got to take a look at why I thought it was okay, and not just yes, but, yes, but, yes, but yes, now let's take a look at it. And I had to, do some deep internal changing inside, because I wanted to be a different person. I wanted to be calm and peaceful and serene. I wanted what other people had. And it started to work, not just overnight, but I felt small pieces of it, over time. And what I realized was, one day I woke up and I'm like, God, I have changed, and I'm evolving, and I'm continuing to change every single day. But when we stay in those comfortable spaces, and we stay in those spaces that feel stuck to us out of fear of what comes next, I don't think we grow much. I don't. I think that we have to be willing to try new things and be new people, and that's worked for me, and listen to what other people have to say as suggestions as well. And I want that growth in my life. I want to continue to grow and evolve and change and evolve into the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And I want that for you too. So anyway, let me know what you think of those meditations in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.